Tonight on CTV, the man who strangled a mountain lion last week breaks his silence.
Yeah, I mean, right when I turned and saw it, it was definitely disbelief.
And forget mountain lions, these students are facing frostbite and 20,000 feet of elevation. But that's not stopping them from climbing Mount Denali. We'll tell you how they're preparing for the climb of a lifetime later on.
Plus, what happened with CSU men's and women's basketball teams this week? Jared Stratton will break down the losses for us tonight on CTV.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Marla Lundak. We at CTV want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day, but we also want to take a moment to remember the deadly school shooting in Parkland, Florida that happened a year ago today.
That's right, Marlo. And according to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been nearly 350 mass shootings since that day. That's almost one a day. So on this Valentine's Day, we hope you'll join us in spending time with the people we love and remembering those lost to gun violence. In local news, following a recent mountain lion attack and increased cat sightings, Horsetooth Mountain open space has officially reopened as of yesterday. The mountain was closed for 8 days while Colorado Parks and Wildlife Services captured 2 young mountain lions that will be transferred to a wildlife rehabilitation center and later released back into the wild. But CPW says that just because these 2 mountain lions were relocated doesn't mean that there are none other in the area. In the unlikely event that you're attacked by a mountain lion, CPW says to stay calm, back away slowly, appear larger, and fight back, like Travis Kaufman did last week.
What would you do if you were running and saw a mountain lion chasing you? Would you run or fight, like Fort Collins resident Travis Kaufman, who killed a mountain lion in self-defense last week?
I was able to kind of shift my weight and get a foot on its neck. Another couple minutes later, it finally stopped moving. One of my big fears throughout the whole thing was another cat coming along, because it was a younger cat, and I could tell that it wasn't fully grown, and I was just very concerned that Mom was going to come out of nowhere, and at that point, that fight would be over pretty quickly.
During the fight, Travis suffered multiple claw and slash marks along his face and chest, as well as multiple stitches in his wrist where the lion's teeth latched on for the majority of the fight.
There was a point where I was concerned that I wasn't going to make it out of it. I just kind of had that wave of fear roll over me and thought that I could just end up there and stay there. And luckily that wasn't the case, and I am able to spend Valentine's Day 2019 with my girlfriend Annie.
Travis, or King of the North as he is nicknamed from Kyle Clark, is recovering well and was glad he stayed calm during the situation.
In kind of those really tough, scary situations, that if you kind of stay a little bit calm, which I luckily feel like I'm pretty okay at, if you stay pretty calm, hopefully you can use that to your advantage a little bit and get yourself out of a sticky situation.
In the press conference, Travis said that he was very happy that he wasn't wearing headphones at the time, since he probably wouldn't have heard it coming. For now, he is going to stay active with his hiking and running, but now he's bringing a friend with him.
Denver public school teachers are back to work after a strike that lasted 3 days. Negotiations over salary lasted all through last night and included creating a pay schedule for teachers to receive raises throughout their career. This agreement allocates an additional $23 million to teacher pay. This teacher strike is just one of many across the country.
The controversy continued in the Associated Students of CSU Senate chambers last night when it was revealed that about half of the people endorsing the Charles Darwin Day resolution weren't aware that their names were on the legislation, or that the resolution even existed. Ren Wadsworth has more.
The Senate chambers took a turn when the discussion of Darwin Day was reintroduced under the new name, Evolutionary Science Day. Student Abby Vandergraff expressed concerns that her and several classmate names had been added to endorse the bill without their consent. However, it was argued by the resolution's author, Connor Cheadle, that an email was sent out asking anyone who wanted to remove their name to respond. The resolution was pushing for the day to be a school-recognized holiday, but many students still had concerns about Darwin's large involvement in the event, while some were worried the event was changed too much. In the end, the resolution was tabled for another week. On another note, the new Colorado smoking and vaping ban was opposed by Senator Ethan Burschek, who feels it isn't an effective way to minimize tobacco use. Many senators agreed with this argument and voiced concerns about unintended effects of forcing campus members with nicotine addictions, especially people who live on campus, to quit cold turkey, arguing that students and faculty require an outlet to help them manage their addiction in a safe environment. In response, senators proposed designated smoking areas to help both students with breathing issues from suffering secondhand smoke and those who require outdoor smoking areas. Many immediately endorsed the bill and suggested to bring the issue up with Jared Polis at his visit to the ASCSU chamber to discuss higher education tomorrow. With CTV, I'm Ren Wadsworth.
For all the latest on ASCSU, you can visit collegian.com and tune in next Thursday.
It's the marijuana millions. Well, actually, it's billions. Since the legalization of pot sales began in 2014, Colorado has sold more than $6 billion in recreational products. According to the Colorado Department of Revenue, the sales pot industry grew about 3% from last year, rolling in more than $260 million in taxes in 2018. The money brought in this is allocated to education, specifically construction and updates to buildings, and, ironically, programs to prevent marijuana use.
Well, I might be enjoying the warm February weather. I mean, I went outside last week without a coat. Those warm temperatures could still have negative impacts in our state. According to CSU's climate and forestry experts, the shorter and warmer winters we've been experiencing in Colorado can cause droughts and bark beetle epidemics.
That's not all it can impact, Ryan. As we see higher temperatures, the surrounding mountains have less time to collect snowpack, which is buildup of snow that eventually thaws and feeds into the Colorado River during spring and summer. So now we're going to throw it over to Litos Castro and tell us what we can expect from all of this. Litos?
Ryan, we're going to see a lot of different effects that could come from this. Specifically, we're going to see the fire season. We could possibly see some more fires coming about here in Colorado, and the success of crops and livestock could start to go down. And one big thing is water availability. That's going to be a huge one. As far as when we see facts, the fact that average American households use about 400 gallons of water per day, and that one drip of water every second adds up to about 5 gallons per day. So what can we really do? Well, we're really going to focus on that water availability. As far as saving some water, you can do things like turning off the water while you're brushing your teeth, take shorter showers, and maybe don't run the dishwasher unless it's full. It's things like these, when you know how to save a little bit more water, that can really help out. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Litos. Those little things really do add up. What do you love about America? That's what Turning Point USA asked campus members today with their free speech wall. Students were asked to write what they loved most about America on the wall. The most common responses? Chicken nuggets and dogs. Hard to disagree with that, of course. Recently, we have seen many of these free speech walls around campus because Turning Point USA says they have noticed a positive impact for them for hosting them. Their biggest goal for advocating the speech wall is to get students talking and to tell them speech for themselves. The members of TPUSA have been working hard to get speakers on campus to start a conversation and get more students politically active.
We have a large engagement with free speech walls in particular because people, haven't really heard the concept that they have the ability to write whatever they want under the sun on our free speech walls. Today has been a huge, very positive engagement from our student body. It's pretty hard to say you don't love the country that we live in, even though just maybe it might be one aspect here and there for different reasons, but everybody's got something they love.
Living in Colorado, we are surrounded by incredible landscapes and enormous mountains that are just waiting to be climbed, like the dozens of challenging 14ers. But for these students, they wanted something bigger.
Jimmy McCulloch.
They may look like average students, but these 4 friends are avid mountaineers. After meeting through CSU's outdoor program and becoming familiar with Colorado's terrain, they set a goal to climb Denali, the tallest mountain in North America.
Actually, Zach and I were living together at the time over the summer after my freshman year. And I remember it happened, I was at home on the couch and he came in and he said, "Andrew, I'm thinking about climbing Denali." And I said, "I've been thinking about the same thing." And so ever since then, from that time in July or whatever it was, we just had this idea. It's like, all right, what is it going to take to get us from where we are now to actually climbing Denali?
The road to Denali has proven tough. Mountaineering to this degree requires a lot of learning.
You have to learn glacier travel, rescue. You've got to be able to figure out all of your food and fuel systems. You have to be in super good shape. There's just literally years of stuff that you've got to learn, and we've had to kind of compress it all into 2 years to really try to figure it all out.
With guidance from the advisor at the outdoor club, who has climbed Denali 3 times, the group kept climbing and traveling to ensure their abilities both physically and as a team. The outdoor program hosted a trip to Ecuador, allowing students to climb volcanoes, one of them higher than Denali itself.
We kept climbing mountains. We went to Ecuador. We had success there, except Jimmy, but we're not worried about Jimmy. And then we all went to Mount Rainier in August, got a successful summit. And since then, we've known that we've followed the right trajectory, so we've been seriously planning and getting ready for this May.
Denali stands at an elevation of 20,310. Compared to Horsetooth, Denali is just over 13,000 feet higher, and is still 6,000 feet higher than Long's Peak. Temperatures on Denali can reach lows of -40. The group says equipment is key.
Basically, the best thing you can do to prepare yourself for that is to just bring the right equipment. And so that's a huge part of what we haven't really mentioned yet of the planning process is acquiring all of that equipment.
Summiting Denali is the ultimate goal for this trip, but is by no means a guarantee for the group. However, if their climb is successful, they are already making future plans.
We all want to climb any of the 14 tallest in Nepal or Pakistan, whatever. There are many more climbs to be had.
The group told me that training and planning these expeditions can cost thousands of dollars, but they say it's worth every penny. We here at CTV wish them the best of luck.
Pretty crazy story, Marlo. But here's a heartwarming story for your Valentine's Day. This puppy is getting a second chance at life thanks to CSU's veterinary teaching hospital. Logan, a foster puppy diagnosed with pulmonic valve dysplasia, will receive open heart surgery in April to hopefully fix his malformed heart. According to Chris Orton, the doctor performing the surgery, CSU's teaching hospital is the only center doing open heart surgery in North America. This puppy story went viral after the rescue shelter, Rescue Hearts Northwest, created a bucket list for Logan that included being hugged 100 times, which did in fact happen.
I wish I could have hugged that puppy. He's so sweet.
He's so cute. I loved that CSU is helping him out.
I know, and so fun that they found him on Instagram and were willing to go and help him out. I need to find his Instagram. I'm looking for it.
And speaking of Instagram, he even has a GoFundMe to help pay for the surgery.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have to go donate.
I know, right?
We'll have to help him out. Well, Rams, don't go anywhere because up next, Litos is going to tell us what kind of weather we can expect this weekend.
And later, Jared Stratton will tell us what happened with men's and women's basketball this week and where Nico Carvacho stands in CSU's rebound history.